Alright everyone, we're going over the games between GuitaristOnBass and Snifx4. GuitaristOnBass was really nice to to record the games for me. I was not at my PC at the time, so luckily he was able to, and it is a little awkward because the first two games don't have any audio, but the last one does have the audio that I requested. So there will be some background music kind of playing. I haven't really gone over the footage quite yet, but so Snifx opened up with Veteran, and GuitaristOnBass opened up with his Spell Sword, also known as General Crabius deck. And it's a very slow one, and I believe the Veteran deck from Snifx is pretty fast. It might be a token-based one, from what I remember. I was going to go over everyone's deck list, but I think I'm going to wait until the second round, just because I don't have to go through 4 decks for all 16 people. And plus, I just didn't have a chance to look at like every single one, or at least like take a deep look at all of them. So, GuitaristOnBass drops Mudcrab Merchant, and yeah, because of the kind of hand that he has, you definitely want to pick Crassius' favor. And so what I remember is that Jarl Balgruuf is like in this deck as like a kind of win condition, and he's pulled it off before by constantly being able to bring him back. But I believe the real win condition is Flesh Atronach, because he has a lot of like the crabs and just like token spawning things. Just in this particular game, he had a very slow start compared to Snifx, kind of getting all the token generators that he needed really early on. So Snifx has a really wide board, and it's gonna be really hard for GuitaristOnBass to kind of keep up with that in any way. Ooh, and then Veteran Forerunner definitely like really makes it hard to come back. And yeah, Brotherhood, the Brotherhood vampire guy, really not satisfying to pull him without getting any kind of buff. Now, if Snifx had something like a Crusader's Assault, that'd be pretty problematic. But Guitarist does get a really clutch Golden Initiate off Prophecy. Unfortunately, now there's a big card in the way, and Edict is definitely going to help quite a bit there. And so Guitarist is just going to try to really, because it's all he can do, is just try to remove like the biggest points of damage that there are. Luckily, he doesn't have any actions in hand, so the Withered Hat Cultist currently is not really that big of an issue. And so he goes with Flesh Atronach, probably just because it is a big body. Hopefully there's not a Earthbone Spinner. Okay, there isn't. That's good. That'd be really unfortunate. But now Snifx is able to draw like a lot of cards to kind of keep the pressure on, really. A lot of pressure. And now that he has an Edict in hand, and that like now is useful, of course, now there were 2 Withered Hat and Cultists. I think it wouldn't have been a bad idea to play Mundus Stone here. But the Squish is probably the better card to pick here. It lets you remove a little bit more damage. Unfortunately, it's going to eat up all your Magicka. And yeah, I think the Withered Hand Cultist is the biggest thorn in his side right now. I mean, Snifx is gonna be able to draw, I think, 2 more cards. Okay, well, like, just a ton of cards now. Yeah, that's, if your guitar's on bass, you're probably sweating a little bit here. And another Mudcrab Merchant comes down, so quite a lot of random cards getting thrown in here. And I just don't think that Guitarist has anything he needs to clear any of this. Could Edict. At least get rid of like half the damage, but you know it's Redoran, so there's like a lot of ways to for Snifx to buff any of the creatures that are gonna survive. And I do know the results of like all of this, but GuitaristOnBass did come in with like 3 meme decks, so he wasn't like expecting like anything crazy. But I had never heard of Snifx before, you know, this tournament, and I looked, you know, just at their profile, and I think each time I looked, they were number 4 in Legend. So GuitaristOnBass did have a really tough matchup. I've seen Guitarist play a little bit. I don't really know where his skill level is, but he does enjoy the memes, so I have a mad respect for it. Alright, and that is just a lot of damage on the board to try to stop. And Guitarist doesn't really have it. Like, no way to stop it. He's probably gonna try to search for something, and really none of that is useful at all. Maybe if this was like his own Redoran list, and if he had been running something like a Quicksilver Crossbow, but even still, there's just really not a lot that you can do with this kind of hand. And okay, Guitarist calls it. So Snifx wins with his Redoran against the Spell Sword. And this one is game 2. Guitarist brought in a warrior deck. I think I had a lot of slay abilities, or at least like a decent amount of them. It might have been like that kind of ramp, like rage sort of deck, if I remember correctly. I might be totally wrong. And now, Guitarist does have a better hand than what he had in the last one. And he does have the ring. I forgot to notice who had the ring in the last one. But at least if you have like a 4-cost card like the Venom Tongue, at least you're going to be able to play it a little sooner. But you have to remember that Snifx is playing a really fast and wide deck. So if you're only able to put down like 1 creature like every other turn, you're probably going to get overrun pretty quickly. And it looks like that's exactly what Snifx is going to try to do here. The Guitarist recognizes it. So he's going to hope that he doesn't just put everything into killing the Venom Tongue. But yeah, the Gavel just comes in really clutch there. And now he's going to do a ton of damage with the Relentless Raider. Night Talon Lord is definitely not something that you want to see here. So Guitarist might just do Tree Minder just for the Magicka gain. Never mind. Goes with Gristlehide Drag, which I guess if you want to get to like some of your like other possible answers a little faster. The problem is you just gave him an entire turn, and if Guitarist could like hold out until turn 10, then red ear, you know, that would be really amazing, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah, cause it's like, where do you even put the tree minder? Like it's gonna get hit by just a 1/1 no matter what. But he goes for just putting more bodies down. Maybe Snifx taking out that Venom Tongue like actually mattered a lot, because then the Venom Tongue would have at least given him like a couple points of Magicka at this point. And he probably could have gone down to a Night Talon Lord quite a bit faster. And so Snifx probably, yeah, dropping the makeshift defenses just to make sure, because he knows the 3/3 is pretty much gonna die. So I think Guitarist is just trying to see like, okay, what is the most cost-effective way that I can get rid of the most damage here? And yeah, with the Shadow Fen, he can silence the guard and take out the 2/2. Actually no, Snifx still has 3 damage, and this is what I mean by Guitarist brought in meme decks. He just drew a Skeever Infestation, and I believe this is the one that Schward had on his stream one time, where Guitarist got up to like 20 Skeevers with it. Too bad it didn't get to go off here. Alright, and this is game 3. Snifx versus GuitaristOnBass. Snifx still on the veteran, and Guitarist opts to go with his Empire list. This is his last one. And wow, the highest of high rolls basically there. I guess low, because you don't want the high cost cards. And he does at least have an early Fighters Guild recruit. I think you do want to keep the Venom Tongue. A Siege Catapult, that's interesting. We haven't seen that one in the list yet. I'm sure Snifx has a lot of really easy ways to get that to proc, and he's coming out swinging. Guitarist does not draw 3 costs, so you can't even do anything about it. Now, I think getting rid of that is probably the best thing. At least he has like on-the-spot removal for like whatever the biggest thing Snifx drops. This is one of those ones though where it's not very clear which one you should get rid of. Just gets rid of the highest damage. Probably what I would do too. I probably would have gone with Venom Tongue though. Alright, if Guitarist can hold out for what, 2 more turns, then he's gonna be in a good spot with the Dark Seducer. However, I don't think it may not happen. Snifx did go like really all in, so ooh, another Cloud Rest Illusionist. It's quite unfortunate. Wow, Guitarist doesn't even draw a Prophecy. It loses a guard. And he calls it. Well, good games to both.